Welcome back. I am sorry for the awkward angle. I am dressing currently, but it is officially sale time. So we moved in the first two to the sale grounds yesterday. So today is going to be the first day that we actually show them to potential buyers. We're going to be doing this with this group for about 4 days, I think, 3 or 4 days. And then we'll move in the next group. And I think those ones only get shown for about 3 days. Typically, okay, here it is. So oh my gosh, this shirt is dirtier than I expected. I should have washed it better. Anyway, I'm also missing a shirt. Anyway, distractions. So typically at the beginning of the book, they give everyone time to, get in, settle, and just get into a rhythm, right? And so you have a few extra days to look before actually selling. But towards the end of it, they kind of feel like there's so many horses. Like if we keep doing this, we're going to be here for 2 months. You move in one day, you show the next day, and then you sell the day after that. So you're only here for about 3 days. But for these beginning books, we're here for a little bit longer. Anyway, oh my gosh. So much bad things are happening. I'm running behind. It's fine. And also, I'm like, I parked in a spot you're not supposed to park because I was unloading things. And, well, I'm also getting dressed to my truck because it's easier. And, unfortunately, that does mean a lot of people around. So I was, like, trying to be stealthy and putting pants on in my truck and having no one see it and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so, yeah, basically what happens when we get in is, we get in, feed the horses, give them a bath, walk them a little bit, clean everything, and then just let them chill out and dry, groom them, and then the shows begin. And the shows are starting here momentarily. My guys, the other people who are helping me, are also getting dressed, and hopefully breakfast should be on the way. Hopefully. I didn't actually ask them. I guess we're gonna find that out. And then we gotta just start doing everything else. Yeah, hopefully next time you're not like awkwardly like this. It's fine. Anyway, let's get started. You're once again at an awkward angle because I'm putting pants on. And also, I'm once again parked illegally. Listen, okay, it's not like illegal. I'm just not supposed to be here. It's fine. Anyway, so yesterday was the first day that we showed horses to potential buyers. And here's the thing. At the very beginning of the sale, like the first 2 books, is a little bit more spaced out, a little bit more relaxed. And so, like book 1 moved in Friday, I think. Either Friday or Thursday. They've been here for a little bit longer than we have. I think Friday, though. And we moved in, obviously, Saturday. And so, book 1 will be start selling today. They have the first half today, first half tomorrow. Book 2, we start selling on Wednesday. So, we sell tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, we sell Wednesday. I don't know what day it is. Days aren't real. Anyway, so we start selling Wednesday. So obviously we have a little bit of space compared to the later books when we are going to move in, show, sell, right? And so it's not surprising that instead of having like a whole huge swarm of people like we do in the later books, it's a little more spaced out, a little bit more relaxed. Obviously yesterday was Sunday, so we make the joke that some people pretend to be Christian and they pretend to go to church. Before they come over here, or some people are just their planes are just getting in, or they're just moving in, or whatever. And so some people came, and it was kind of like steady throughout the day. Like I would kind of get a group of people, and then it would chill out for a little bit, and then I get another group of people, and then it would chill out for a little bit. So that's pretty much how it was. Both boys did pretty good. One of them, I wish he would show a little bit better. He kind of is just big, and it's not like he fights. He just knows he's big, and he kind of just takes advantage of it and just wants to do his own thing sometimes. And I'm like, sir, it will save you so much trouble if you just do what we ask. And he's like, no. Anyway, but both boys have been doing pretty good. The Uncle Mo's definitely been more well received at this point rather than the Curlin, which isn't a surprise because the Curlin is definitely a little bit more clunky looking, to be polite. He looks more turfy. We theorize that the Europeans are going to be the one who really like him, and that does kind of seem to be true at this point. But yeah, so that's the current shebang. Admittedly, I didn't get a lot of, like, in the morning of them getting the bath and stuff like that videos, just because I was also working and I was setting up. I have a feeling tomorrow will be easier for me to get videos of them in the bath and things that, oh, is that motherfucker here? Shouldn't you be working? Is that him? Maybe that's not him. I don't know. Side mission. Anyway, easily distracted. So yeah, today again is going to be mainly a lot of first shows, some second looks, but really it's going to be pretty chill. The sale starts at 1 o'clock, and so it will kind of tamper out and relax a little bit at 1. Is there anything else happening today that I'm more? Oh, and then yesterday, because I didn't film this because we were multitasking. Yesterday, after we left here like 4:30. We had someone come look at some of the other yearlings that are at the farm that haven't arrived at the sale yet. Just because, life. Anyway, traffic really picked up in this area. For anyone who knows Keeneland, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, where I'm not supposed to be here. In between the barns. So for those of you who don't know, hold on, TV timeout. So the barns, they got barns on this side, barns on this side, right? And there's the water tower that away. No, I like how I said I was going to be putting my pants on and I just yapped to you all. I accidentally turned on my vehicle. Anyway, but the track is that way. So normally when there's horses here that are, in training and in these barns, they use this area to go up to the track, right? And so no one's supposed to be back here. But during the sales, they let people back here to like dump stuff into their barns and get things ready and get things and get everything settled. But we're not supposed to technically just be hanging out here all the time. It's just supposed to be for like maintenance. Listen, if I can get away with parking here, I do, because I like it. And the reason I was able to get away with it today is because my headphones is genuinely because I had hay in my truck, and tomorrow I have to bring straw. So tomorrow I'll have straw in my truck to bring. And anyone who's wondering, why are you changing pants in your car? Use a bathroom or something. The bathrooms are dirty. Bathrooms are dirty. I would rather someone just see me in my underwear for 0.5 seconds. There's no kids here. If they call public indecency, I'm gonna be like, well, why are you looking at my truck? My truck is tinted. Ish. Mostly, kind of. Anyway, that's the I'm done rambling. I'll see you later. once again lopsided, and I'm once again illegally changing in my truck, in my illegally parked car. Anyway, so yesterday was pretty steady. Kind of the way it went is like we would have a group of people come in and then it would chill out, and then another group of people come in and it would chill out. I'm expecting today to kind of be a little bit of the same. Today and tomorrow is when I'm going to start expecting potential vets to show up more toward the afternoon or evening, or tomorrow morning is when I expect to see some vets maybe either come to scope a horse or just look at a horse walk or things of that nature. That being said, so here's the thing. When you are doing YouTube, I only use my phone. I'm not using like a fancy schmancy camera. You have to do it, this way, right? Instead of this way. And like, I always feel like it's very obvious when you're filming, and so I try to be polite about it and like try not to like shove it in your face. And I also try not to like, get people's faces in it. And so it's been some trial and error, and I have found that it's less like glaringly obvious that you're filming like this when you're actually filming like this in 0.5. So sometimes it's been some trial and error, and it works pretty well because I can edit it and just move it to the thing format, and it's just it's a bit of work in progress. Obviously not everything's perfect, but it's been a little bit easier, I think, now that I figured that out, that it doesn't work always, but it works a good chunk of the time. Obviously I haven't fully edited at this point anything, but there was a moment where someone came over and was measuring a horse. That's something that they do, like there's like a whole database. I don't have access to this database, and that's what they do. Sometimes they'll just there's certain horses that they go through and they'll measure them all, and there's like a system that supposedly tells us whether or not these horses are a little bit, I don't even know. There's a whole system, and the thing is that system is still not perfect, because if they were right 100% of the time, then it'd be an easy, but it's not. But that's the thing. Some people will do random stuff. They'll like do the measuring, they'll do DNA markers, or they'll do, oh goodness, other like, I don't know. Everyone has like a weird system, and we just do whatever they do. So I had someone come measure the Uncle Mo. I also had someone come do a heart scan on the Uncle Mo. I didn't film that because I was holding the horse. And so those are always like little weird added stuff that some people will do sometimes if they're interested, and also some people will just do it because they want that data for like to help better their programs of whatever the hell that they're working on. And yeah, so that's a few things that were kind of happening. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing vets more likely in the afternoon or tomorrow morning that are going to come by and ask to start, scoping the horse, or we already did the scopes, and hopefully they're just gonna go ahead and look at the video, but some will ask to see to re-scope them. They'll just watch the horse walk, things of that nature. Some other certain buyers might come back and do their own set of x-rays or x-ray their feet. Typically you're only going to see this at this type of book, the book 1, book 2, maybe book 3 for certain buyers. But yeah, so that's what I have a feeling today's going to kind of be like yesterday, just kind of steady. A lot of people are kind of finalizing their checklist. They're going to go ahead and like make their second or third look. Some people are just getting into town, and then I expect to start seeing potential vets for tomorrow or this afternoon or tomorrow morning. When do we sell? What is today? We sell Wednesday, and today's Tuesday. Yeah, so that I'm right. So yeah, that is the tea. That is the plan. I'm gonna change now. Awkwardly. Here's the thing. For anyone who's been in these Keeneland bathrooms, the Keeneland bathrooms up in the stadium, they're fine. Those are fine. The Keeneland bathrooms down here, it is just, like, it's clean, but they clean it after, like, I think it's when they go through and clean everything at, like, 10, and so it's always nice and clean from there on out, but, like, in the mornings, there's just so many people, and it's so hot, and everything just feels wet. I don't want to change in there. I'd just rather change in my truck. If someone sees my underpants, they shouldn't have been looking. Anyway, I'm going to change now, and I guess wait for my vet, because my vet's going to come, make sure my kiddos are good, which they are, but just, check over, and I guess get the day started. morning. It is officially the first day that we are selling things. I don't think I ever mentioned what we brought the first batch. The first batch, we have the Keeneland Colt and the Uncle Mo Colt. The Keeneland will sell first, and then there's a big gap till we get to the Uncle Mo. And during that gap, we're actually going to go ahead and move in the next batch. And so the next batch has the Not This Time filly, one of the Constitution fillies, the Practical Joke filly, and the Medallion Colt. So that's the tea. That being said, it's sale day. I have concerns. As of right now, the sale has been pretty steady. It's been like slightly above average. I always feel like book 2 is always stronger than book 1. It's just my vibe. I always feel like book 1, people kind of show up, get the vibe, and then you know, we get settled and jump into fully book 2 and just go ham. And that kind of dictates the rest of the sale. That being said, I am nervous. Not really nervous. I'm concerned. Playing concerned parent. So typically, at this point, we should have had some vetting. So the way it works is typically we have to have the x-rays. There's a thing called a repository, right? And we have to supply x-rays of all the joints, of all the x-rays that we took. Obviously, we have our report and we show people the report when they ask. And then we also have the actual x-rays in the repository. Right, phenomenal. We can also put the scope, which we do, in the repository. So they'll do a video scope where, you know, they have the little video at the end of the scope that goes down so that everyone can see their airway, see how it actually looks, and they don't have to rescope the same horse a whole bunch of times. Anyway, that's the thing. The thing is we typically get alerts every time a vet looks at the repository, right? So it alerts us, hey, so-and-so looked at hip number whatever. And and for us, it's a good indicator to tell us whether or not there is like something active going on. But anyway, we've been like steady busy. Like we've had people come look at these horses second and third times, which means at this point, if they're still interested, they should be doing vetting. They should be having their vets go look at the x-rays and make sure that they are up to their standards, right? I don't know if the system is not working, because that definitely could be a consideration, because we haven't gotten any alerts. But the only vets I've had come to the barn have been for measurements and for heart scans. So I don't know if I'm going to get a flood of vets in the morning today or throughout the day, or what the plan is, because we do have the concern. So the Keeneland, he vets good. Like he's got good x-rays. I think he had like a tiny spur in one spot, and it wasn't anything of concern. The Uncle Mo, who is the prettier of the horses and has been the more popular, does have sesamoiditis. Sesamoiditis is one of those things that they kind of only really put a name to it a couple years ago. I say a couple years, being lenient. It's been like 7. But you know, it's still something technically newer that they didn't have a name for it until more recently. The issue is that we haven't really figured out exactly what makes it better. There's theories there's been attempts, and I'm a strong believer that the current recommendation for it is not the correct recommendation. Typically, if you have a yearling that gets sesamoiditis, they say, okay, put it on isoxaprine and aspirin, or just do anything that encourages blood flow to the legs. But it doesn't work. I'm gonna be blunt. It doesn't work. We've tried it. It doesn't do shit. So we've kind of been talking. There's been a lot of conversation in the back barns recently about like what actually works with it. Now here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, what the hell is sesamoiditis? I'm gonna be really blunt with you. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't do shit. It just might be something that they recommend. Hey, just don't run it as a 2-year-old. It just needs a little bit more time to develop. Okay, so really it's nothing that is like a career ending. It's nothing that is like bad. It's nothing that's going to break down horses. It's just something that's there. That reality, it doesn't really matter. There can be severe cases and they're going to be like, yeah, you can't race it as a 2-year-old, maybe not an early 3-year-old, like a later 3, early 4-year-old. But that's it. My plan was to have... People are texting me because we're moving in. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the only thing. Is most people are going to look at that and be fine with it. And others are going to look at it and be like, no, we would rather, like, we're looking for something that, to go to the 2-year-old sales or something of that nature, so they're going to pass. So that's the only thing on that horse. And that's, but the thing is, regardless, I haven't gotten any hits in their repository. So either the system's not working and I'm not getting any alerts, but I could say that. But at the same time, I haven't seen any vets besides to do heart scans. So I'm a little uncomfortable because I don't really know where that puts me. So originally coming into the sale, I kind of thought both these horses, I think I said the Keeneland was around 200, 150 to 200. I said the Uncle Mo was probably somewhere between 200 and 300 at this stage. I don't know. This is typically with the amount of vets that come, it gives me an idea of like who to expect. Like it gives me an idea of who's on the horse, who to expect and things of that nature. I don't know. So that's the tea. Anyway, hopefully we get some vetting. I would feel a lot more comfortable if I could get that.
Year, new winner under the first dam, the Colt's half-brother, 2-year-old half-brother, colt by Tappet. Tappet's Legacy was a winner on debut in Maiden Special Weight Company at Saratoga and has earned now $55,000. New winner there. Colt's mother, a half-sister to the Grade 1 winner, Her Smile.
Keeneland here, but you get 2, how about 100 for at 25, then 50 here, but you get 25, 50, 50, 75, at 75 here, but you get down 1 here, but you get 100 down there, at 25 here, but you get 50, but 50, 1, 50, 50, 75, at 75 here, but you get 2, but 2, how about 200 now, a Rogers in front, but 200 down there, at 75, come 2 here, but you get 2, but you get 200 down there, at 75, 1, 2 here, but you get 2, but 2, you want to give 85, 185, 200, oh, is that Mike right? 185, 2 Hot Raj, 185, Hot back in, boy, 200 down there, 85 and 2, but 200 down there, 1 back in, 85 and 2 here, thank you, said no, 185, all done, Raj, 185, 200 down there, but 2 I have, thank you both, Mike, 185,000.
placed first stam. That daughter of Take Charge Indy was third in the Sunland Park Oaks from the family of stakes winners, including Workaholic and Flapjack.
50 boy, 50 town 20 at 30 town, 30 40 up front, boy 40 50 60 town, pump again, town 70 high. I'm on ride, boy 70 here, 40 town tire at 70 town, 80 town tire here, tiny bit tiny rod, Jim boys 80 90. I'm up front, 80 bit down 90 down one. Oh, bows in now 100 down, 110 110 10 here, do it up there 110 at 10 20 here, 20 bit the 21 24 30. I'm up front, boys 120 130. Help yourself here, 130. Got it now 40 130 40 130 here, 50 down, out again, boy 140 bit up front, 150 saw 140 50 here, 50 bit to 50 151 to 140 150 here, 50. You want to try again, man? 140. We're out. 150 140 150. All done back there. 140 bid to thank you. 150 150. Here we go. 140 here, and I have Roger 140,000.
Hey, guess what? I'm parked legally this time. Am I in a parking spot? No, but I'm parked legally. And honestly, I'm hiding in my truck right now to decompress because I've been alive for like an hour and I am over it. Listen. Anyway, so today's Thursday. Yesterday we moved in 4 new horses and sold the other 2. Now, I'm going to say this right now. It is fine when you're like a small consignment and only have like 1 or 2 horses. And it's easy when you're a big consignment because the big consignments have a whole team of people that their whole job is specifically to set up stalls, get things ready, and then break things down, right? Like, so it's easier for them. When you're kind of in the awkward middle and you're trying to, and the worst thing is, it's just me and my dad, right? When it comes to like paperwork and organizing things. But even worse, it's just fucking me. So I'm the one who has to have everything organized, has to have the numbers, has to have stalls ready, blah, 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 in order for us to move. Well, typically on like move-in day when I'm not already here, it's not a problem. But like on days like this when we're just bouncing from barn to barn to barn, it gets so hectic. And unfortunately, yesterday, what screwed me over really well is they tell us what time to move in. So they say either after 10 o'clock or after 1 o'clock or, whatever. And the way they do it is they go through, like Keeneland themselves will go through and clean out the barns for you. And so you only have to come in, spray with bleach, bed down stalls, the works, right? Phenomenal. Yesterday, I don't know if there was just a horse that was still in the stall or what. And so they only cleaned the stalls that were empty, which is fine, but they never came back to clean the other stalls. And so that took us a whole extra half an hour to strip the stalls that we needed to before we could bleach them and then put straw down. And by that time, it was so freaking late that we had finally gotten the rest of the horses in, that this morning is the first time I actually set things up, like put signs up and everything, because we were running so far behind. It wasn't our fault, and obviously Keeneland is not, like, they have rules about moving certain horses when, and it was purely whoever was supposed to be moving the horse, it's their fault for not moving it when they were supposed to. But obviously it just delayed everything, and it got me frustrated this morning, especially because when I got here I realized, oh mother hover, I forgot to bring 2 more ropes. So I had to text my father. I was like, please, when you get here, please bring 2 show ropes and an extra shiftney. And then, but I did it with the voice thing, and it didn't register shiftney correctly. So I put, so I said shiftney, not shifting. And he goes, I'm glad you got it all under control. I'm like, boy, I'm about to strangle and pop out your eyeballs. Anyway, I'm telling you, my last nerve, I'm trying to like decompress, and I keep seeing people and walk by, and my vet is going to be here eventually, hopefully to scope things. Anyway, so yesterday we sold the 2 horses, except did we actually sell them? Kind of. So the first horse was the Curlin, his reserve. We were kind of like, we knew we didn't really have anyone on him. Right. He's kind of a big plow horse looking thing. And so, we kind of were like, oh no. And so, but he vetted well, right? And he's got a really big, nice walk. So in order to discuss this, I have to go into a story time of last year. Last year, he had a brother who was a tappet, who was really, really big, pretty horse, except for he was crooked as fuck and he had bad x-rays. And so Tappet, you have to think, Tappet's stud fee is like 200 something. We sold this horse. All we wanted was like 45,000 for this horse. Like it was a huge loss, okay? And we took that horse to the ring and didn't sell it. Like, he was a no sale. And as we were walking back to the barn, someone asked, they're like, did you sell that horse? And we're like, no. He goes, do you want 45? And we said yes. And they were like, we'll take it. Like, so we were able to get the deal done, like, on the way back, like, after the sale. So that guy with that Tappet turned around and ended up selling that horse for like over 500,000 like a year later. So he made bank, right? And he came back this year, and I know he was really into the brother as well. I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of pisses me off sometimes, people who just wait and like, anyway, but they wait until like after, and they're like, oh, did it not sell? And then they try to undersell you. But we were really firm. We're like, listen, 200 or nothing. Like, that's how it is. And so he was like, and so he was bidding the horse, and he stopped at 180. I think it was 185 actually. He hit 180. The reserve hit at 185. I'll explain the bidding thing here later, not right now. Now my earphone. I'm telling you, I'm on my last nerve today. Anyway, so he hit the bid at 180. The reserve kicks in at 185, and so he just needed to hit 190, 200 in order for the horse to be his. And he kept looking back at us, and I was like, he's not sold yet. And he's like, what do you mean he's not sold? I was like, the reserve's 200. We told you. And he's like, oh, but no. Anyway, so the bidding, obviously, the horse didn't sell, right? The horse is leaving. And the guy's like, what do you mean he didn't sell? Like, what were you asking? We were like, we told you 200. And he was like, oh, well, that's just a little high. I'm like, I do not care at this point. And then he was like, well, let me make a few phone calls. And we're like, okay. And so he turned back, and he was like, will you all take 185? We said no. And he came back about 15 minutes later. He was, okay, fine, I'll do the 200. And I'm just like, I understand that they're trying to get a deal and they're trying to get it cheaper, but do you know how much that grinds my gears? Because, like, it's like, my boy, I get it. I totally get it. You're trying to, like, get a deal. You're trying to save money. You got stuff to do, too. But, like, well, we tell you what the price is, and you're surprised that the horse didn't sell. Don't try to undermine me. Anyway, so he did sell. He didn't sell in the ring. He sold after the fact for, granted, more than what the listed price was. The other horse, we also kind of knew we were a little bit in trouble because he has a little bit of vetting issue. Here's the thing with this vetting issue. This is a vetting issue that is a newer thing. It kind of popped up like 7 years ago. I think it was the first time I had heard of it. And a lot of other vets started mentioning it. And because, the x-rays get better with time, and so they got the newer x-ray machines, and they're so much better. And now they're like, oh, we can see more things that we never saw 15 years ago, which is great. But at the same time, it just gives us stuff that, like, hey, we never knew that was there before. And it was never a problem until now. Anyway. So this horse had sesamoiditis in two hind legs. And the thing with sesamoiditis is they pretty much always say the same thing. They're like, listen, these horses are completely fine, happy, healthy, blah, 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 blah. They'll go on and have race careers. You just don't start them as early 2-year-olds. They're just later 2-year-olds, early 3-year-olds. Which is fine. The issue is every time they see the sesamoiditis, the vet, it's recommended for them to scan the tendons and ligaments and the branches and all that things, right? And so a lot of times the sesamoiditis is in correlation to see if there's any branch tears or things of that nature. And so there was not a single 2-year-old vet that passed this horse, and we knew that that's what was going to happen. And so we knew the 2-year-old people would love this horse, but wouldn't pass him vetting wise. But people who are down for waiting until they're 3 are going to have no problem with it. And so we knew that we had people on the horse, but I just didn't know who, was actually going to show up and bid. So we get down there, And the live money, I think, stopped at like 130, and then the reserve kicked 135, and the reserve kicked in. And as soon as the horse goes to the ring, we wanted 150, right? And as soon as the horse doesn't sell, people started coming up to us and they're like, wait a second, he went for a lot cheaper than you all are asking a lot cheaper than we realized. I think they were thinking we were going to ask for like 200 and 250. And I'm like, here's the thing. Some people will not tell you. I fucking hate that shit. Like, if you ask, like, we'll tell you. And like, we have no problem just saying it. You don't even have to ask. I say it all the time. I hold up the paper for you all. I'm like, hey, here's the scope. Here's the x-ray. This is the reserve. I do it all the time. So I'm like, you all have no excuse. Anyway, but they were like, he went for a lot cheaper than we were thinking. How much you all wanting for him? And they're like, oh, we tell him 150. They're like, we'll be back. We'll be back in the morning, to relook at him because we're super interested, because we thought y'all were going to ask for like 200, 250. I'm like, all you have to do is ask. So, I have 2 people that are supposed to be coming by this morning to relook at him. And so there's a chance he's sold, but it's just we haven't signed paperwork. And if they do sell him, it will be for probably either 145 or 150. So yeah, we've sold nothing inside the ring. Everything's been outside of the ring. If he doesn't sell, then the owners are just going to keep him for racing, which is not that big of a deal. But that drives me up a wall. I love it when it's just simple, and it's just you take a horse to the ring. They either sell or they don't sell, and then you either take it back home or it's sold and, problem solved. But no. Anyway, this is the group I think we're going to have the most fun with. All the owners were down here and they were all grumpy and like, okay, the one of them was grumpy. This little dark cloud. And I told him, I was like, listen, you're all dark cloudy now. I was like, give it some time. The next batch will make you feel better, I promise. And so hopefully this group makes him shiny and happy again, and not all dark cloudy. I'm not done decompressing. I still need I think I just need tequila. I think is what I need at this point. It finally happened. I had to park in a legal spot, and I had to park far away from my barn. Listen, I will never not complain about the Keeneland parking situation. I understand that at the beginning of when they designed and did everything, they probably were not expecting things to turn out the way they were, be as massive, and have as many people come around as they do for the sale. In the general area, yeah, there's plenty of parking, but the barn area, there is no parking. And I had to, I drove around for 15 minutes looking for a parking spot, to put it into perspective. Anyway, so, yesterday, we were slammed. I know I didn't record a lot yesterday. We were genuinely so busy. And so, let me do a little bit of explanation on exactly what the jobs are for when we're doing this, to kind of explain why I'm not constantly videoing. So, my main job is to be a card person. What is a card person? So we have these little cards with the horses that we currently have to look at, right? So with this book, we have the Medallia, the Constitution, the Practical Joke, and the Not This Time. 3 fillies, a colt. So typically, most people are going to want an all show. So they're going to look at every single horse on the sale ground And some people, or maybe they're just looking at fillies, some people are just looking at colts. Some people have already comprised a short list. What is a short list? Typically, they'll go through and already pick, instead of looking at every single horse, or if they have looked at every single horse, they'll go through and pick their favorites, or they'll go through and just pick horses that they're already kind of looking at. So if there's certain stallions that they're not interested in, they're not going to put them on the list, or, you know, things of that nature, where they're going to go from a big list to a little list, short list. Anyway, so most people are going to come in, and they're going to, right now it's been a lot of all shows. Person one will come in and be like, all right, all show, here's your card, fabulous. I start telling the show people are the people who are actually going to be physically showing the horse to the person. And I'll tell them, like, hey, I need this number, or this number. And I try, when you have an all show, you try not to get all the horses out at the same time, unless you only have like 2 or 3. It's not that big of a deal. But you try not to get them all at the same time because it causes traffic jams. Fabulous. And some people are slow, right? So some people they take their time looking at all the horses, and so you don't want congestion in your area, especially because maybe you're 1 or 2 horses into the first guy. Here comes person number 2. I also want an all show. Fabulous. We're going to start you over on this side. And then so another person, hey, I just need to look at 1 horse. Fabulous. Make a note. Now I've got 3 people with all wanting either the same horse or a different horse. And the other thing is technically we only have 2 show spots. So the way it sets up is we have the path, right? The path. And typically, if we have the availability to, we use that whole line to show a horse. If we have multiple shows going on at the same time, we split it in half. And so you take one section, the other person takes the other section. We got lucky yesterday in the fact that the people right across from us opted not to show because they don't sell until the next day, right? So they moved in yesterday. They're going to start showing today. But that meant that their section was open. And so there was us over in this corner, there's someone else over on this corner. We have the ability to use our own ring and the one across from us. And it wasn't too bad. The issue is there is another consignment who I hate this consignment. Every time I'm next to this consignment, I always groan because they suck. They kind of feel, they have a lot of horses, and this is all they do. They don't have like a farm or anything. This is all they do is sales. And they are very much like, oh, I have a show. I'm going to take this spot. And you could be in that spot. And they're like, I'm in this spot. And the amount of times I have yelled at these people, and they figured it out at this point that I don't stand for that shit because I hate it. Like I made one person cry and quit on their team. I think it was like 3 years back because I was over it. She had done it to me 4 times. And I told her, I was like, if you come over here one more time, I'm going to chop off your fucking legs. That's a nicer term of what I used. I was so over it. Like, it was, but that whole consignment is like that. So anyway, unfortunately, we're kind of next to them. There's a buffer between us, but they were also taking advantage of the fact that the other people on the other side weren't there too. So they kept kicking everyone back. Right? And so I only had to chew them out twice because I found out that they were doing videos on the other side, and I went over and I was like, listen, do your videos later. We're showing right now. I was like, you all cannot keep coming over here and ruining our shit. Anyway. And also they had a whole extra anyway. So we get lucky in this barn because we're right next to the sale ring, right? And there's a long stretch there where I make 2 extra show rings, and it's wonderful. Anyway, I got distracted. So normally we have, depending on how many stalls we either have just this one section in front of us, or maybe we can borrow the neighbor section. We have to share, okay? There's a lot of sharing and caring, okay? And so with the way we have it set up, we for sure have this spot in front of us. We've been using the spot across from us, and we've been taking it up to the top ring because I'm trying to avoid not going over on the other side next to us because I know that poor lady is fighting with that consignment that is a dick. So I have all my cards, and I got 3 people, and so that's my whole thing. I'm basically directing traffic and making sure everyone gets the horse that they need to see. Right, phenomenal. And so obviously multitasking. So there will be times I can have like 4 to 5 people, and I'll have that I'm running shows at the same time, right? And the show, so I have to tell the show people, here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I lied. Come back here, over here. You know, that's the vibe. And it was so busy yesterday. I have not counted. I kind of don't want to count. I think we did close to about 150 shows, give or take. So yeah, it was pretty busy. That's all I gotta say about that, I think. Anyway, today is kind of a chill-ish day. I have a feeling it's gonna be a little bit more spread out, and I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot of second, third looks. I already had a couple second looks. I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot of second, third looks, and maybe some vetting. This group I'm a lot more confident in compared to the last group. The last group, we knew we had some vetting issue with the Uncle Mo, and then the Keeneland, I had said, I was like, this thing looks like a plow horse, and that's being generous. And so, like, I'm not dumb, you know, and, but, you know, I knew someone was going to buy him, and they did. So, yeah, this group overall, I just think looks a little bit more athletic. Now, why weren't they in higher books if they're more athletic looking? Pedigree, and also at the time, they were not necessary. You have to think, when we are making all these decisions, we have to make all these decisions in like April. So obviously horses change a lot from April to September. And so they might mature differently than we were expecting, or things of that nature, or big updates have happened. Like the one filly, one of the Constitution, she's the one, her brother is now a stakes winner, and he's actually running in a grade 1 on Saturday. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, maybes, buts, but this group I definitely feel like a lot more comfortable with. I have a feeling everything should sell. There's one right now, we're kind of like, I have people on her. I just don't know who all's interested is kind of the T. Anyway, I should probably change. I do have to go meet my vet. What else are we doing today? Oh, there's also a party today. Because it's a dark day. There's no selling today. So today's a dark day. So there's no selling. We sell tomorrow. That's all I got for right now, I think. I don't know. Sale day and move-in day. We're kind of slammed. We've been slammed the past 2 days. It's like yeah, you expect to be busy, but I mean, my poor kids are so tired. I'm tired. Yeah, and so to add to this morning, I did have quite a few vets come in, and so in all honesty, I feel pretty good with this group. I feel like everyone should sell rather well. So I know with the first group, I was kind of like, this group, I'm like, no, I think we're okay. That being said, it's definitely a difference. I feel like this group overall was just a more athletic looking group. And like, yeah, sure, the first group was technically better bred, but well, obviously one had the bedding issue, and just one looked like a plow horse. Put it politely. Anyway, obviously, I'm like, you know, talking in the daytime. What is, instead of my random parking in a wonky parking spot that I'm not supposed to be parking in, we're also moving in. And so I kind of told them, I was like, I'm gonna make a couple trips because I need straw and stuff to like bed down everything. It's gonna take me a couple trips because we have 5 horses that are moving in. And so, you know, that's currently what I'm doing. What is there? Oh, there's also something else happening today. So obviously, ironically, the very first horse we're taking through the ring, I think she'll probably sell around 1 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, her brother runs in a stake race. And so, yeah, sure, it would have been nice if it was, you know, a couple hours after. Is my math that off, actually? Anyway, sorry. It's really hard to, sometimes we have to predict about what time-ish we sell. And typically it's about 40 hips an hour. And sometimes it's just, I'm like, math. Anyway, distracted. So yeah, so her brother should be running a stake race after she goes to the ring. It's just like maybe like an hour or 2 after she goes to the ring. So we'll also be keeping an eye on that, just because even though we'll have sold her, it's just a nice, fun little update, and we still have the rest of the family also to keep on keeping an eye out. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I've just so mentally done. I'm socialed out, and I'm ready. Unfortunately, when we finish the sale, when will it be? We move in today, so we sell Monday, which means I would have gone 3 weeks without a day off, which is fine. But you definitely get a little burnt out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm socialed out. I'm tired of seeing people. Anyway, I'm gonna drive safer now as I head over and drop off this next round.
The half-sister to the 2-year-old 2-Out Hero, who has 2 wins this year, and since the catalog won the Soaring Free Stakes, so new black type under the first dam, and the filly's half-brother 2-Out Hero is entered to run today in the Grade 1 Summer Stakes at Woodbine.
Yeah, thank you. 300 down, 3 with dividend 25, 50, dividend 25, with dividend 50, dividend 25, with dividend 50, dividend 35, 50, try 50, dividend 50, dividend 50, 60. It's 60, bid me 60, dividend 50, dividend 60, 75, with dividend 80. 85, hit a bit of 1, hit a bit of 85 wide. Hit 110, hit a bit of 100, hit a bit of 110, hit a bit of 25, hit a bit of 135, hit a bit of 150, hit a bit of 150. Hit 150, hit a bit of 60, hit a bit of 175, hit a bit of 85, 185, hit a bit of 85 2, jump Raj, 85 2. Hit 2, hit a bit of 85, hit a bit of 210, jump Mike, 210. Hit 200 times in, 210, hit a bit of 2, hit a bit of 200, hit a bit of 10, 10, 10, 210. Hit 210, 25, 225, hit a bit of 225, hit a bit of 210, 25. Hit 225, hit a bit of 210, hit a bit of 25, hit a bit of 210, hit a bit of 25, hit a bit of 25, you done tied, 225. Hit 210, how about 20, 220, hit a bit of 210, hit a bit of 20, how do you send 210, hit a bit of 20, hit a bit of 210, hit a bit of 20, hit a bit of 210, 10, 10, 20 times, 220 down bid, 20 bid to have. Mike, 210,000.
A multiple graded stakes winner.
Hit 200, 10, bid of 10, bid of 25, 50, bid of 25, bid of 50, bid of 25, bid of 50, bid of 25, 35. Hit 35, market, bid of 35, bid of 35, 50, bid of 30, bid of 50, 60, bid of 50, then bid of 75. Hit 60, 75, bid of 60, bid of 75, bid of 75, 85, bid of 85, bid of 85, 85, 85, now what? Hit 85 1, bid of 85, bid of 1, bid of 10, hit a bit of 1, 10, bid of 10, bid of 10, bid of 25, bid of 1, 10. Now 25. Hit 10. Hit a bit in 25. Hit a bit in 110. 25. Hit 110. 25. Hit a bit in 10. Hit a bit in 20. Try 20. Hit a bit in 20. Hit a bit in 30. Hit a bit on Mike. Hit a bit on Mark. Hit on 30. Mike's lead. 30. Hit 120. Hit a bit. How about 5? Hit 125. Hit a bit in 120. Hit a bit in 5. Hit a bit in 120. Hit a bit in 5. Hit a bit in 5. Said no. Thank you. Hit a bit on 120. Hit a bit in 5. 120. Hit a bit in 5. Hit a bit in 120. Hit a bit in 5. 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 Mike, 120,000.
Half-sister to Lady Shipman. Of course, she in turn the Dam of Golden Powell. Here's a Not This Time.
Yeah, thank you. How much here? 25, go 50, 25, and we're going to be 75, and down 75, and we're going to get 50, but down 75, 75, 75, 50,000, 75,000, down, $100,000, should have been down, bond, 100 down, 25, 50, at 125, 150, 150, 150, 150, down 75, at 175, we're going to be 2, you out here, down 200, down 200, 200, 200, 200, go 85, at 85, we're going to get 2, whoa, took 85 on Josh, Mark, you're out, EC, you're out, you're going to be 200, 185 to be, we're going to get 2, down 10, 210, you out now, at 200 there, down 10, 10, do it, 200 down 10 to be, we're going to be 25, and down 210, 225 now, at 210 to be, we're going to get 25, we're going to get 50, down 50, down 50, down 250, at 250, give me that 35 then, 35, 225, 35, 50, at 35 is right up the middle now, 250, down 260, now they're both out, at 250, down 260, down 250, down 260, one of them all done, 275, now 275 to be, we're going to get 75, we're going to get 275, we're going to get 275, we're going to get 85, we're going to get 85, we're going to get 285, hit 285, 285, 85, 3 down 300, at $300,000 down 10, down 310, 10 down 300 air down 10 to be over to get 10 down 10, down 310, at 300,000 down 310, 25 to be down 325 to get 325 to get 350, at 350 down 350 down 350 down 350 down 350 down 350 to half, hold on 350, at 375 to be down 75 to be to get 375 to be all done 375 to get 360 down 75, at 60 bid down 75 down 375 to get 360 down 75, Mike you get 75 360, thank you, 375 360 375 and I have EC 360,000.
Side is Argos with Rude Procedure away pretty well, 2 Out Hero, and right between them is Time Frame as Marcus J goes right on by that group to go to the lead, and Cassin's handy. It is Marcus J, 2 Out Hero from Argos, over near the inside early, Rude Procedure, out wide at Time Frame and Cassin by a couple of lengths, and then came Teddy's Rocket, fighting the rider there is the Secret Adversary into the turn, Wild Desert wide on the track, second last, and last in the early stages, Bill of Ice. Marcus J controls the pace, out in front, 3 parts to Cassin into the backstretch, a length and a half, 2 Out Hero third settling, and a length behind them, Rude Procedure. On the inside lying fifth, Argos, joined by Time Frame, a length to the Secret Adversary, still racing a bit rank. On the outside, Teddy's Rocket, the favourites back at the tail, Wild Desert, and on the inside is Bill of Ice. About 8 lengths covers the field, a half mile to run, and Marcus J through a first quarter in 23-1 leads the way from Cassin. Right behind them, 2 Out Hero in a very snug spot. Rude Procedure's lying in fourth, a length and a half to Time Frame. Argos on the inside. Behind them is Teddy's Rocket trying to muster a challenge. The Secret Adversary is well behind. So too Wild Desert spots them 10 lengths and starting a run now for William Buick. And as they turn, Bill of Ice is last. Coming on the outside, Cassin, and behind is 2 Out Hero after Marcus J. And down the center goes Rude Procedure, Marcus J and Cassin. And in the clear, 2 Out Hero. And down the outside, Wild Desert's coming from a mile back. Out in front is Cassin. And now coming is 2 Out Hero, and Wild Desert is out there on the extreme outside with Argos. Argos, Wild Desert and 2 Out Hero. It's Argos in front, and Argos has just won from Wild Desert and 2 Out Hero.
Nearly $250,000. It's her second full.
How much here? Down the good, down the good, 50, but 50, but 25, 50, 25, but 50, down the good, 25, but 35, 35, 50, 50, 60, down the good, 60, 75, 60, but 75, but 75, but 75, down 75, 75, 85, 85, but very down the good, 75, hit it and south, 85, 85, 80, 90, 80 here down 20, but very down the good, 90, but very down the pawn one again here, down the good, pawn 10, 810, 110, 120 around here, 810, 10, 20, down 20, down 20, but very down the good, 20, give me that 15, give me the good 15, again, 15, 8, now, whoop, now, you got to be 120 right now, 115's here, 120, 120, now 5, both out, 125, 30, down the good, 30, 30, 30, but very down the good, 135, 835, 35, 35, 35, 135, 135, 40, 840, down the good, 50, 150, down the good, 50, 860, down the good, 70, down the good, 170, 170, 170, 180, 180, but very down the good, 80, 90, but very down the good, 90, give 9, give 2, 2, 2, down the good, 2 now, 202, 10, down the good, 10, 10, down the good, 210, 210, 10, 10, 25, but 25 back here, down the good, 25, 825, but very down the good, 10 here, but 25, but 25, but down the good, 20, 210, 10, 20, down 20, down 20, down 20, down the good, 20, 30, 820, down the good, 30, but 230, but 230, 230, 230, 230, down 40, but very 40, 240, down the good, 40, but very down the good, 40, but 40, but 40, but 40, sit back there, 30 here, 40 where, but at 230, 240, 240, 30 here, 40 now have Ralph on the phone, Busway, 230,000.
I was editing everything, and I don't know if I accidentally deleted me yapping about how these 4 did, or if I just never recorded it. It's fine. I will catch you all back up. So, we took 4 to the ring. We took the Constitution filly, the Practical Joke filly, back to back. They were like a couple hips apart. Then we took the Not This Time, and then the Medallia Colt to wrap it up. The Constitution filly is the filly whose half-brother won really big first asking and then turned around and won a stake race. And then a couple hours later was third in a grade 1, like right after she sold, right? Admittedly, we were definitely a little bit disappointed with how she sold. She sold for $210. like, she did sell. We weren't, like, being greedy and asking, like, 300 to 500, right? Like, we try to be reasonable, right? And we were definitely a little bit disappointed just because that is a really big update. To be a stakes, be a stakes horse or a stakes winner or even greatest stakes place, that's not, like, the percentage of that is small compared to just overall horses, right? And so this filly is out of a stakes place mare and already has a greatest stakes place brother. And their plan for him is they're going to give him winter off and they're going to take him to Florida and they're going to aim for the Holy Bull, which is on the road to the Kentucky Derby. So they're going to aim for the Holy Bull, see how he does there, and then potentially think about the Jeff Ruby for him. So, like, he's going to be on the Derby trail, right? And so, anyway, so it's really, to have a horse kind of even just related to that, especially one with ovaries, it was definitely kind of like, okay, I definitely expected, before the sale, before he broke his maiden, I was thinking between 200 to 300, but that was before he broke his maiden. Once he broke his maiden, and then once he won the stakes race, I definitely kind of mentally upped her price a little bit and pushed it more to like 250, 350. But yeah, so she did sell. She did sell for 210, and she did go to like smart people. So that is always good. Then we followed it up with listen, we had Dark Cloud from the book 2 that we were at. We were already like, oh, then we get back to back, right? We took the Practical Joke. The Practical Joke vetted was as clean as a cucumber. Like, there was not a speck of dust on her extras at all, right? Beautiful filly. She looked like a colt. She looked like a bodybuilder. This is the type of horse I was like, the 2-year-old people should be all over her. Like, for sure. No one showed up for her. I had no one interested in her at all. I was genuinely surprised when I went down there and they were like, no one was there. And I was like, okay. Because she was popular enough in the barns where she was being asked about. And, like, I think she had, like, 2 vettings. But, yeah, I was just like, okay. So she did not, I think she didn't sell for 120 is what it was. So she did not sell. Here's the thing. So, and I kind of told the owner this because, well, we all told the owner this, right? She looks like a 2-year-old horse. These are the type of horses that look really, really fast from the beginning. They come out of the gate really fast. They're going to break their maidens for a second asking, while the rest of the kids that are longer distance horses are catching up, maturing, doing whatever they do before they hit the scene. And so we told him, he goes, this is a candidate for you to either go to the 2-year-old sale, or you can do what we like to do sometimes and go ahead and send it to, there's a certain person that we use if we are doing this shebang, because she's really good about telling us, like, realistically what to expect, right? Because some people will lie to you, like, flat out, and it's just, or like they'll gas you up, and, like, don't get me wrong, sometimes we're all wrong, you know, we can be wrong, but she's definitely pretty realistic about what to expect, and that is we send them to her to get started, to get broke, and start doing the baby stuff on them, and as time goes on, she tells us, hey, I think this is a horse you need to send to the 2-year-old sale, and either you're going to get money, or I think you just need to pass it down the road. I don't think this is the right type of horse for you. Or she'll tell us, I think you're going to want to keep this one. You know, so that's who we sent her to, that Practical Joke. She went down there. And yeah, so that's the plan, is more than likely 2-year-old sale, but if we get told, hey, you're going to want to keep her, then we'll keep her. And then after that, the war front of the Constitution Filly started in the Grade 1. And then, you know, as things go. And then, who did we have next? The Not This Time. Hi! The Not This Time was actually our surprise. So, hi. I admittedly didn't love her. There was something about her. Like, I knew she was going to sell well because she was a Not This Time. And, you know, like, she was a really pretty mare. She had, what her extras, I think she had one little tiny thing on her x-rays that, like, wasn't a big deal at all. You know, it wasn't even like a mature, it was just like, just ignore it, it's there. Hi. Oh, it looks so much better today. Good. I know. But admittedly, there was I kind of felt like she was maybe a little touch small, you know what I mean? And she looked very European, meaning she looked kind of turfy. So I thought the Europeans were gonna buy her, and maybe that, I don't know. She wasn't my type. She surprised me. Hi, I don't have food. The boys have to bring me food. Do you want to? Okay, goodbye. He's really weird. He only likes cuddles if you actually have physical food. What was this? Anyway, so she surprised me. I was thinking she was going to be in the realm of like 150, 200, maybe 250 if the right people hook up. And she turned around. Oh, I don't have the physical copy on me. What was it, like 360 is what she sold for? So she definitely kind of like made everyone go, oh, okay, finally, we've done something. Like, because obviously the beginning was kind of like disappointing and rough. And so she kind of definitely brightened up everything. We're like, okay, now we're doing something a little bit better, right? And we sold the plow horse somehow. And we did sell at least one of the fillies. Now we've sold the other filly. And she was definitely a lot higher than we were expecting. So I think we ended up putting the reserve at like 150. So, you know, definitely she brought like double her reserve. So we felt a lot lighter after that. We were like, okay, now I feel good. And I was very high on the next one. The Medallia for me was my pick of the litter. I made the joke to, there's a trainer who, I don't want to name drop because I feel like name dropping just is like, and also like, it's just, you know, but there is a trainer who's a friend of ours, who's a buddy of ours, that won a big race 3 years ago. They won a race that kind of got them going, right? Anyway, and I told them, I was like, listen, because they were all over this horse, and they went well over their budget for this horse and still didn't get him. They were like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm sorry. But I told them, I was like, this horse makes me feel the way a man has never felt before. Like, every time he just walks out and walks in front, I'm like, ugh, I love you. I want to take you home, put you in your pocket. And there's something about this horse that I really, really liked, okay? So the Medallia was my pick of the litter. Medallia fillies tend to sell better than Medallia colts, just blatantly, right? And so if he was a filly, we already knew this would have been a $500,000 filly. But he's got nuts, not ovaries. And the reason why is because Medallia's fillies, historically, have had better race careers than colts. Like, don't get me wrong, the colts run. But you just got a better chance with the fillies. And so, I don't know. I think they put the reserve at like 100 or 120. They put it pretty low. I was pretty confident. I was like, we're going to get between 200 to 250. If the right people hook up, maybe I might get the 300, right? When I tell you, I was the only one in our camp riding on this horse. I was like, I love him. He's my favorite. Him, my baby. I was like, I have high expectations. Like, don't get me wrong. I tend to be realistic about the prices. Or at least I try to be. I hate guessing higher prices, to be blunt, on like horses with higher stud fees, because it throws me for a loop sometimes. But like, I was like, this is what I have. And everyone's like, I don't know, he's a Medallia colt. I'm like, this is what I have. Sure enough, it sold for, what was it, 240, 245, something like that. Mm-hmm. Actually, he went to the exact same trainer that the Not This Time filly did. He bought both of them. I have to laugh too, because he had trained, there's a horse that I need to list for sale here eventually. And that was his trainer too. And so anytime we see each other, he always asks, he goes, how's that flashy son of a gun doing? I'm like, well, it's still alive. I still have him. You know, I've done nothing in finding him a home like I was supposed to. Anyway, so yeah, overall, the sale started rough. We were, like the first round, I hardly had any vets, and the vets that did come by were like, yeah, my 2-year-old guys don't like him. I was like, I know. Next round, we were slammed with vets. We did have quite a few vets. And overall, everyone, besides we were a little disappointed in the Constitution. But the other two outsold what we were expecting, so they definitely kind of made up for it. And so you have to think, at this point, so obviously with the sales, we have clients, right? We have a whole bunch of clients. But we have one client in particular that has a significant bit of horses. And so when we started selling things for him, I think he always kind of compartmentalizes. He always like slides horses in individual slots, right? He goes, oh, this is how much I've spent on this horse, and this is how much this horse has paid us back, right? And I'm like, that's fine to do on when you're like starting to think, hey, which mares do we potentially need to consider selling because they're not really working out for our program, right? But you also have to take into consideration vetting issues, life issues, the racing updates, things of that nature. But when it comes to like the overall sale, we always tell them, we're like, we understand that like that is in your mindset, which is fine, but don't hyper focus on the one bad horse we have. Think of the overall, because the overall is what's paying your bills. So luckily, I think we finally got him out of that mentality. I think like 2 years ago, because he would like ride the high when we sold a good one, and we would sell one for like and he'd be like, oh. I'm like, bro, we just sold one for $500,000. Smile. And he's like, I don't know, man, but I'm like, no, smile. Now he's definitely, I think he's gotten it, like he's got it more. He goes, okay, I got you now. And so sometimes I feel like we have to have him on a leash, and sometimes he has a dark cloud following him around. I'm like, boy, smile. And he's like, no. I don't blame him for not smiling that first half. That first half was rough. It's fine. We got it together. Now, anyway, going into the next book, the next move, we're definitely a lot more happier, brighter, chipper. I think in total we've made close to $1 million, give or take, with the horses that have been sold. So we're good. We're on the up. Now we just have one more book, one more group to take care of, and then we're done. I say all this like I'm currently there. I'm not currently there. I'm about to do the farrier here. It's fine. I will see you all next time.